So right now it's time for relationship, and of course, Michelle Emeagware is back with us on relationship this morning to discuss the root cause of domestic violence, dysfunctional parenting, and societal conditioning. Now, Michelle is a certified family life and CBT practitioner and the founder of Insights to Wellness. Welcome once again to Wake Up Nigeria. All right. Okay, so I'm going to start off asking you. I'm sure you heard our conversation when we had coffee gist. What would you say would be your take now to the couple? Now they just found out that they're pregnant and the wedding is coming, but the church won't wed them. So what would you say in that situation? What would you advise?
The truth is, I mean, if we're being honest, before the time, before the church wedding, I'm sure they would have gone to the registry. A lot of people do that. They go to the registry, they do the traditional wedding. They're already married.
Basically. But, you know, our demand is now a use.
Yeah, so I get the part where, you know, you have to do this before God and before the church.
Yeah.
So if the church doesn't wed them, I remember a similar situation. This time it wasn't that the girl was pregnant. I think maybe they skipped maybe counseling or something.
Okay.
The church said, we're not going to wed you.
Exactly.
So what they did was they got another pastor who was happy to wed them because, I mean, invitations have gone out. You're not going to cancel your wedding. So, I mean, if your church is not going to wed you, maybe find a pastor who is happy to wed you. There might be some other consequences. They may be asked to leave or something. I don't know, but I'm sure they can always get someone else to wed them.
Yeah, of course. I think that definitely is one that I will take because, I mean, marriage is before God, really, not before a judge or a pastor. Anyways, let's not get carried away. So now we're here to talk about the root cause of domestic violence, amongst other things. So now let's start with the topic. Now, it seems like one that's really broad, considering the fact that, I mean, we started last week talking about why people still stay in abusive relationships. So now, what would you say is the root cause of domestic violence?
Okay. So let me just talk very quickly about what domestic violence is. It's referred to as intimate partner violence. So when we talk about domestic violence, people often think about what happens between people in an intimate relationship. But there are other forms, like what happens even between parent and child in the name of discipline. It's a form of domestic violence.
Very true.
There's also child-to-parent violence, where the parent is the victim.
Wow.
Yes, it's also a form of domestic violence. So it includes, you know, using force, intimidation to control a person in a domestic setting, so family in this case. It could be emotional, it could be financial, it could be sexual. So if you're trying to force someone to do what you want against their will and you're using, you know, physical means, violence in any form.
In any form?
In any form is domestic violence. In fact, people don't know that the silent treatment is a form of emotional violence. Yes, it's a form of emotional violence. So anytime you try to coerce someone to do what you want in a family setting, in an intimate relationship, it's a form of domestic violence.
Okay. So now that you said this, now it opens our eyes to say a whole lot of things. Meaning, I don't think there's anybody in any relationship in this Nigeria. Like you say, you've not actually experienced one form of domestic violence or not. So now, where would you say we pick these traits and habits from? Because I feel, I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe like growing up or as kids and everything. Because the main thing is actually to address and find out what the root cause is.
Exactly.
Yeah, so where would you say, I mean, these traits and behaviors may have been triggered?
So I would say it's basically from society and families. So society has... So society is there to tell us what to do, tell us how to live. And the family, you know, helps sort of spread this message. So if society says, for instance, at 25, you should be married, your family will ensure that at 25, you'll be married. Please, make sure you're married, that sort of thing. So society sort of lays the rules, and it's passed on in families. So as a people, what kind of people are we, if you think about it? Are we kind-hearted? Do we have a lot of empathy? Or are we aggressive? So if we're an aggressive people, you would find that that aggression will just be a part of who we are. So we believe that if we don't get what we want, we should use force
to
get it. So it's sort of like our conditioning. And then in the home, you know, it's for a lot of people, it's the conditioning as well. I mean, if a child misbehaves, what do we naturally do? Like before I had children, I knew I was going to cane my children because I was caned.
Yes, nah.
Do you understand? So it's just the way it is, and we don't think that there are other options. So when we're not happy, when we're not getting what we want, the natural reaction is to be violent.
It's to be violent, and
So
probably
we need to start,
yes, consciously
exactly, become conscious of
it. So now, what would you say will be a better reaction? You want something to go your way, and then you're not guessing. So what would you say would be a better reaction to get to that thing that you want?
So again, you want to ask yourself, why do I react this way? Because if you don't even understand that your reaction is not appropriate, that your reaction is hurting someone, you're just going to keep doing it. So you want to understand, what is it that, why do I react the way I do? That might take you back to your childhood, where you might start uncovering some kind of trauma. And if you're able to heal your pain from the roots, naturally you would start responding differently. So it's always important to pause and ask yourself, why am I reacting this way? Is there another way to react this way? What meaning am I giving to this person's actions that is making me want to, be violent?
Act like this.
And then who does it serve when I react this way? Really? So those are questions you need to ask yourself. And once you start asking, once you become more intentional, you would find that there are other ways of resolving conflicts.
Yeah. So, I mean, yes, that, as much as that makes a whole lot of sense, a lot of time we happen to, okay, fine, I want something this way. Some people will believe that, okay, fine, I have to do what I need to get what I want. And it's just as if, okay, fine, if I don't act this way and I act normal, as if, okay, it's important, but not really, the other person might take advantage of the exactly and take for granted. So how do we now balance out, just quickly, briefly, how do we balance out that feeling of, okay, wanting something, wanting our way, but at the same time not feeling taken advantage of, but feeling taken
and that's a very important question, because often if anger, and I'm sure I've said this before, anger is like a messenger. You're trying to, there's something that your anger is telling you. So one could be that you're being violated.
Oh, yes.
For a lot of people, if you don't, show that you're angry, they won't understand.
They won't understand.
They won't give you what you want. But the truth is, you want to ask yourself what kind of person you want to be, because you can't go around being angry and being violent. Remember, we're talking about domestic violence here. You can't go around being angry and hurting people just to get what you want, So at the end of the day, what kind of person do I want to be? Can I set boundaries with these people so that I'm not constantly being triggered? And that should always be at the back of your mind. You will get what you want. Sometimes you may not get what you want. But who do you want to be at the end of the day?
At the end of the day. Okay, thank you so much. Conversations with you are always so seamless, smooth, and very enlightening. Thank you so much. And of course, you'll be here again next week, and we'll continue on this particular topic. Thank you.